Live. And we're live. All
Do
right.
it.
We took a few weeks off. I think what was our last show was this is our we missed all of July pretty much.
Yeah, we have. We missed pretty much because I was gone for Disneyland the last week. I think we missed the week before that too.
I mean, so did the other show. It's like the our network,
Yeah,
as we say. Uh, well, we don't, but let's say we did. We pretty much took the month off in a weird way.
yeah.
Not in a weird way. And we took the month off.
Well, the thing is too about that is like in sports, pretty much all the big personalities, right?
Yeah.
They have to be at work during the fall and the winter months. So that's when you have football and things like that, and they have to be there. So the only time they really go on vacations are in July because no one gives a shit about baseball. So they leave during that time. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So pretty much everyone's on vacation. So when we were off, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like the big personalities in sports. This is also my off time.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. That's why we did it.
Yeah,
Obviously.
but,
All right. Episode
yeah.
9, Siddhuey
Mhm.
Reviewy, with your host, the one and only Justin Siddhuey.
What's going on? Very excited to be, like you said, it's been a while, so I'm excited to talk sports. What's the
And
first story?
our first story that we got tonight is 5 storylines to watch at the Women's World Cup kickoff.
Yeah, so yeah, the Women's World Cup kicked off. By the way, it's taking place in Australia, New Zealand, Tubi. I don't know if you knew that.
They got to share it with New Zealand? Ew.
That it's starting to become like a fashionable thing in soccer is to have multiple hosts. Like for example, in the 2026 Men's World Cup, it's going to be United States, Mexico, and Canada all hosting it.
North America.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
different.
mean, yeah,
That's different. That's different,
but
dude.
still, technically Mexico's Central America, not technically North America.
Is it really? I always.
Now, look it up now. Now, this is the this is the most
Wait,
important
wait.
thing.
That's gonna shatter my dreams and hopes here, bro. Really, you're gonna? I don't know,
Is
bro. The
Mexico
map right here on my phone shows Mexico as well. Yeah, I don't know, Sadu.
Historically, Mexico is considered
North
North
America.
America.
Hold on, North America. This is Nat Geo, my friend. I trust
Yeah,
Nat
that's right.
Geo.
I just said it. It says North America.
Canada, United States, Mexico.
Yeah, Central America apparently is a subsection of North America.
Yeah,
and
I was
not
about to say that
considered-
they count Central America as part of North America.
Yeah, and that, my friends, is Central America erasure.
No way, dude. No. You like for a second there, I was like, my mind's blown. Like this whole time I've grown up.
No,
I
mean,
call it Central America too. I know what you mean, but
yeah,
like,
that's what I do. I do the same thing. Yeah.
but when you learn in school, you got North America, South America,
Yeah.
so forth and so on. I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Africa, Europe, Russia, China.
Central America is not a continent. Central America is not a continent.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Thank you,
North
Sadu.
America is a continent.
Thank you,
Central America
Sadu.
is not a continent. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that. I just figured, that's what they call themselves, but whatever.
But I'm just saying, New Zealand and Australia, they're not. They don't count them as one thing normally, do they? When they count continents.
Well, I don't know. Continents. No, they do not count them as separate.
So it's kind of
But
weird.
in soccer, like they're in the same region.
Okay.
I think it's called, like, so. I think that's also why they probably keep it in the same way. Like United States, Mexico, and Canada are the same region.
Same region. Okay. What about
I
Central
think that's
America?
probably- Yeah, like Guatemala, all those teams are a part of the same like soccer region, basically that place.
Kevin's included. I like that.
Yeah.
You name off Guatemala. Kevin's included. Shout out
There you
to
go.
Ramazzini, bro. You're included, bro.
Hey, you know what I mean? There you go. You're with us.
He's a
In the
big soccer
concave.
fan. He's a big
Yeah.
soccer fan.
But yeah, speaking of soccer, the Women's World Cup, it kicked off yesterday. No pun intended, but it did. It's in Australia and New Zealand, and both those countries won their first game. Australia was predicted to win, so it's not like a big surprise. New Zealand was not. But they won nevertheless. So shout out to them. I wanted to bring up New Zealand or that the Women's World Cup because, like I said, it kicked off yesterday, and also United States women's national team is playing as we speak. They are playing Vietnam at the current moment. I just checked the score. Spoiler alert: if you're recording it, I don't know why you would be, because you could just watch it live. It's 1-0 United States. Sophia Smith, who went to Stanford, I believe. I don't think she's local as far as she didn't grow up here, but she went to Stanford. Scored the first goal. It's a shout out to her. She's kind of like ex big star coming out of America.
I'm a
Like, I'm
Cal.
sure.
I'm a Cal fan, Siddhuey, not a Stanford.
Well, me too, kind of. But like she's the big kind of young star coming up right now in U.S. soccer. Her and also, to be honest, if you know this, Dennis Rodman's daughter.
Oh,
Trinity
really?
Rodman.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
Trinity Rodman is a pretty good player playing for the United States. Now, this girl, Sophia Smith, actually is the big star, right? The big young one. She's kind of, as you were scrolling through that article I sent you, you saw a picture of Megan Rapinoe there, and Megan Rapinoe, obviously one of the kind of stalwarts of the previous generation, Alex Morgan as well. But Sophia Smith is kind of like the next one up.
Okay.
So watch out for her career, and also, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, lie to anyone who watches this, but like, I don't know much about the Women's World Cup. I don't follow these teams or these countries that closely, but I do know the United States are favored to win. If they win, they will have won 3 World Cups in a row, which is unprecedented in the women's game, and I don't think it's ever happened in the men's game either. I think Brazil's only won 2 in a row; they've never won 3 in a row. So this would be pretty credible if they pull this off. Now, yeah, there's not as much competition in the men's game, but the women's game has increased in competition recently. The biggest competitors are probably going to be Spain and Sweden. So look out for if they end up playing those teams at any point in time. Look at that like a heavyweight matchup. So shout out to the women's. I hope they win. The U.S. women, I think, good on them. They seem to be doing well. So
If you're not
that's
rooting,
them. Yeah.
let me ask you a question. If you're not rooting for America, what country are you rooting for?
Depends on what you want to root for. So what I mean by that is some people want to root for the underdog. Want to root for the team that like no one's really looking at and can possibly win it, right? Want to cheer for the dark horse. Other people just want to cheer for a team with cool jerseys, and some people just want to cheer for a team that maybe just plays really good soccer and is exciting to watch, right? So it depends on what you're looking for, but I think most people are going to want to see the U.S. lose, right? If
Wow.
you're not cheering for the United States, you're going to want to see the team that's won 2 in a row lose, right? Like
Haters.
that's haters, but like that's one of the things that people forget about. Like for example, the Michael Jordan era. Like yeah, there were a lot of Bulls fans. There are also a lot of people who didn't want the Bulls to keep winning. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They want another team to win.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing kind of with this. Like they want someone else to win. So I think a lot of people are going to be pulling for Spain. Spain actually has the best player in the world right now. So I think a lot of people will be pulling for them. And Sweden's also a pretty good team. So I think those are going to be the teams that probably people gravitate towards. Nigeria is kind of interesting, for example. Brazil has a superstar who's been playing there for a long time. So those are other teams, but I think Spain is probably going to be the team that's like, hey, they could beat the U.S. Let's cheer for them. You know, that'd be my guess, but who knows?
Mm,
We'll see.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I have on the Women's World Cup. But yeah, shout out to them and good luck to the women.
Okay, and that's that for that story.
Hmm.
Okay.
That brings us to I believe Lionel Messi
Mess
and
dog.
the Mess Dog.
I should have
So
worn
the initial
my jersey. I messed up, dude.
I brought up Lionel Messi because today is possibly his debut. He has is currently on the bench, and they're playing right now. His team, Inter Miami, he's on the bench, and he could enter the game at some point in the second half. So, he has literally, as we have just spoken, entered the game. So Lionel Messi is playing his first game for Inter Miami as we speak. He has just entered the field.
Okay.
This is probably a pretty exciting thing for a lot of people. Surprisingly, I'm not like that interested. Like, I mean, I was like, yeah, let's do this show right now. I don't care really about watching Messi. Part of it is I've seen him so much. I pretty much watched like damn near every one of his games his entire career up until like, as he started getting towards the end now, like this time in France, really watch as much. And he's kind of older, so it's not as exciting. But like, hey, he's playing and he's out there. So good on Messi. I hope you do well. I hope you score a goal or do something pretty cool. So the thing I wanted to also talk about Messi, beyond the fact that it's his debut right now, is a month ago, literally, when we talked about him, or maybe before that, we talked about his historic deal with the MLS. He was getting a massive salary, if you remember. He had like a stake in Apple TV's revenue, in jersey sales. He's also getting an ownership stake in Inter Miami. And so now some of the numbers associated with that deal are kind of being made public. And so what we know now is that Messi, just as a salary, not including the revenue that he will get from jerseys, not including the revenue he will get from Apple TV subscriptions and all of that, he is going to make somewhere in the region of 50 to 60 million per year. So that'll be like his base salary, which if you were to compare that to the top end average annual value of contracts in in America, that's right at the top. And that is, we're talking 50 million. That's what kind of top end NBA player now. So you're talking about top end salary. And that's not even getting to the other things that I mentioned. So when it's all said and done, I think, this is just me guesstimating at this point how much. I think it's pretty clear he's going to be pulling in well over 100 million.
Yeah, a year. Yeah.
Per year. Which makes this, and that's not even considering probably the ownership stake, Mitch, probably very profitable. So, I mean, that would actually be more like 115, 125, something crazy, which makes him one of the highest earners in entertainment, literally per year.
Right here it says he overall is estimated 1.2 billion, which puts him in the top 5th of all time athletes.
Yeah, I mean, he's making a lot of money. He's making a lot of money now. We kind of expected that. Like, Messi is a money grub whore. He is not like someone who's like, yeah, let me just do things for like the just genuine good people. He just wants to make money. So this is a great way for him to make money. So congratulations to him. And yeah, this is Messi making money, and his debut is happening right now as we speak. So good on Messi. And that's really all I have to say on that. And that transitions us actually.
Wait, hold on. It doesn't transition us. It doesn't transition us yet. Let me ask a couple questions here. Does he do the Miami, correct? Yes,
Miami, yeah.
Do they make it to the finals?
One of the things that he has made an impact in is he is starting to get other players more interested in coming to the MLS. Now, the MLS, so other European players, right? So, like, they got someone from Barcelona whose name was Sergio Busquets. Many people probably don't know him. He was a pretty unflashy player.
Busquets? I know Busquets.
There you go. Oh, maybe no. No, but he's now playing for Inter Miami. Luis Suarez, who's probably very famous to Americans for the fact that he bites people on the soccer field.
The Mike Tyson of soccer, as I think he's called.
Yes. He may be coming to Inter Miami as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's all these number of guys that could be coming to Miami. If those guys come, I think it's conceivable they could win the whole thing. If not, I don't think so. I mean, I think part of it is like that team I heard is just trash. Inter Miami is not very good. So it's not like he's playing for a great team to begin with. He's playing for one of the worst teams in the league. And yes, his mere presence will make them better. But, Messi is – I also think Messi's going there, bro, to chill a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's going there to be like, all right, I have to win the title this year. You know what I mean? I think part of it is him chilling. And so I don't think he's going to have that same bite and desire that he had earlier. And I mean, I could be wrong. If that happens, who knows? But, I don't think they're going to win it all. I'll put it that way. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think those guys are going to come in time. And the reason I was saying about the MLS and its issues is MLS has what is called as a designated, it's called DP or designated player or something like that. And what it means is you have 3 guys on your team who you can exceed the salary cap to basically bring into your team. Right? So it's almost like 3 freebies. You have 3 guys who don't really count against the salary cap, and you can go bring these players in. Right? Now, Messi and Sergio Busquets are already 2 slots that they've occupied. So if you want Suarez, another guy named Jordi Alba, who's been rumored with them, another former Barcelona player, like you need to open up more slots. The league rules change as well. So those things will also affect their chances of winning a title. You know what I mean? If the league rules change to allow Messi to bring in more of his friends to go win. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the stuff in the chat, Methy. But yeah. Yeah, so that's basically what it is with Messi. He's out there, he's doing his thing, and they could win the title, maybe. Likely. But yeah. Yeah, and it looks like Nick was looking at Messi's tracksuit.
I don't care about that. Let me ask you the real question. It's not a tracksuit, that's his outfit, right? But
that's pretty great.
What's the tattoo with the 10?
Tattoo with the 10. Oh, on him?
Yeah. No, on the other guy on the screen. Oh, you're not looking.
Yeah, no, sorry. I mean, it's just he wears number 10, and he's Messi.
He's got his own. Yeah, I don't like it when people have their own thing tattooed on them. That's bizarre. All right. So what about the earthquakes? Are we looking at an earthquake win here, or what?
The Earthquakes, I don't think, are one of the top teams either.
All right, so that's enough. Let's just end it there, Stu. That's fine. All right.
This does transition. Go ahead. You can bring up the next story really quick, and then
I don't know how this transitions from that to this, but okay.
It does.
Here we go. A really captivating story. This looks fun. This looks like a bunch of fun.
No. Oh, you chose the Northwestern one. I told you to choose the Mbappe one.
Mbappe.
Whatever.
Mbappe. I don't see an Mbappe. I don't. Maybe. Hold on. Let me get this going. That's got to be in our. Oh, I didn't see that. All right, here I'm pulling it.
Okay.
Here we go. Chip Cheerio. All right, here we go.
All right.
My bad.
I was about to say, I was like, what do you mean it's a transition?
I was like, what are you talking about? That's the weirdest That's a weird transition. All right, hit us with this. I got a jersey of this team, but it didn't fit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, good. You probably don't want to be associated with that team anyway. So I think God was looking out for you by making sure it didn't fit.
Well, my mom wished to left Paris, and she was being thoughtful. But all right, go ahead, Siddhu.
So from the once best player in the world, Lionel Messi, to the current best player in the world, Kylian Mbappe. Imagine for a second LeBron or Steph or Kobe. Kobe actually was in his prime. This is a fun little fact about Kobe. Little detour here. In 2003, I want to say.
Yeah.
Kobe was actually a free agent.
Oh yeah.
And he threatened to leave the Lakers to go to the Clippers and the Bulls. The two of the teams he was associated with. The Clippers, he was actually thinking of leaving. And it's hard to kind of describe at the time just how big of a deal this was in basketball. Like, you're talking about the best player, the game's most, the game's star, basically. Because remember, LeBron was not in the league at that point. And so this was the game's biggest star. All of a sudden leaving teams possibly in the prime of his career. That's just something that's kind of crazy, right? Well, Kylian Mbappe, he might not even be in his prime yet, which is even crazier to say. He is now refused to sign a contract extension with the team that he's currently on, Paris Saint-Germain. So Paris Saint-Germain, whatever the fuck. We call him PSG. It's easier way to say it. So PSG basically have had Mbappe for the last several years, and now Mbappe is like, I'm not going to renew my contract. So at the end of this, because he has 1 year left on his deal, so at the end of his contract, I'm leaving. Right? They're like, we don't want you to leave for free. Kind of how you see in the NBA where they know a guy's going to leave, or we're going to trade him first.
Yeah.
Right? Get some assets in, like with Dame Lillard,
as you should. Let's be honest.
Get assets in, before this guy leaves. And in the case of soccer, you don't really get assets in; you get money. Right? There's a transfer fee that you pay a team. So, for example, when PSG bought Kylian Mbappe, they paid 180 million euros to Monaco, the team that he was currently on, to get the opportunity to sign Kylian Mbappe to a contract. So you don't make trades in soccer. You pay money to a team to go get a guy. There are trades occasionally, but they're very, very rare. Very, very rare. What you're doing is paying money. So they paid 180 million euros to get Kylian Mbappe. I would argue they have got their money's worth and some. I don't think it's something where it's like he's leaving without, not giving his full on, not giving his best. Whatever. He's played really well. But now that he wants to leave, they're like, hey, we want to get that same money when we sell him to another team. The problem is Kylian Mbappe is so damn good, and he costs so much damn money, no one can pay for him. So there's no one out there in this current market. Well, there are a couple teams, but he doesn't want to go to them. The team that he wants to go to can't really spend $200 million to go get this guy.
And what team is that?
Real Madrid.
Ah.
The most glamorous team in the world of soccer, the most popular team in the world of soccer. That's where he wants to go, and they are. They are the most glamorous team, the best team.
I'm a Barcelona guy myself, but
I have traditionally preferred them, although Madrid's history far exceeds Barcelona's history. Barcelona's not on that level, although I think they make way cooler uniforms. But that's
uniforms.
The colors are better. The colors are just better.
It's better. It's better.
Yeah,
it's better.
The claret, I think, in teal is what they call it. So yeah, like he wants to leave to Real Madrid, but Real Madrid don't want to spend $200 million to get him. So he's just like, that's cool. I'll run out this contract, and then when I'm a free agent, I'll just come sign with them. Right? And they're like, that's fine. That works for us. But PSG is like, no, we want fucking at least $200 million if we're gonna let this guy go. We want money. And so it's kind of this stalemate right now. So much so that just recently he got dropped from the preseason tour. The team has really come out and told him to make a decision and kind of like, make this thing happen. So it's really interesting. The best player on the planet, the guy who is probably going to define the next at least 5 or 6 years of soccer, he is on his way, possibly moving this summer to Real Madrid. It'll be. I'll put it this way.
That's a nice move.
It's a nice move.
It's a nice move.
To Madrid, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Not at all. That's not bad at all. But as a soccer fan, I want him to leave to go to Madrid, not because I'm a Madrid fan, but because I want to see him play with other great players, and I want to see him, his potential. And that's not happening at the mismanaged ass place that he's at right now.
Yeah.
I will say this: even if you are someone who does not follow soccer at all, if he gets it's called transfer. It's not called trade. If he gets transferred this year to Madrid, you will hear about it. Whatever you like, you'll see it on your Instagram feed, even if you don't follow anything soccer. CNN will probably cover it. Like all the news networks, it'll be that big a deal when if he moves this summer. Important to soccer, in that kind of way. So, yeah, look out for that. A little funny story about soccer, I guess,
Okay.
I hear the guys talking about the movie Air in the chat.
I was about to say, now we'll acknowledge chat. So do you wrap it up, and then now we'll acknowledge chat.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we talked about Air on the Over the Show. I'm pretty sure.
It is sports, yeah, but it is a sports-related movie.
Maybe it is, but it's a movie. The word there was movie nonetheless to do. We're not gonna talk about Air Bud on here. Although we could. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. Bat Flack was the bomb, as Addy said.
I Yeah, Addy said he liked it, and Fats was saying he enjoyed it too. I think for me, like I liked it. I think it was like a fine, decent. It's fine, but honestly, it was also like I felt like everyone was kind of doing their own thing as actors, and it didn't really feel like it was that connected of a piece for some reason. I don't know why. And also, like the story is very false. Like the story.
But I mean,
yes,
like that doesn't. I
he
mean,
signed with Nike. That's what the only thing in that thing that was true. The only thing about that thing that was true was that he signed with Nike. Yes, the people involved are similar, but like Sonny Vaccaro did not play that kind of role. The guy who's actually the main guy behind him there was Jason Bateman's character.
right.
Jason Bateman's character. But anyway, and I know that's not a reason to dislike the movie, but I'm just saying as
you went
aside,
into the movie with preemptive knowledge. You know what I mean? Like you went in there and you were like,
I'm still saying it's a decent movie. It's a decent movie, but it's not something I even. It's a movie
it's a
that
good movie.
I could have. It's a movie I could have in the background while I'm doing other shit, but I don't really want to rewatch it and sit there and like focus on it. It's not.
I enjoyed it.
Good.
I really enjoyed it. Affleck was the bomb. Damon was the bomb. Chris Tucker was good. Jason Bateman was good. You had a four-piecer, a nice little four-piecer there, and I like the way that they didn't focus on Jordan. They didn't show his face. The mom was really good. You know, I really enjoyed it. I went into it with no knowledge, so for me, if we're gonna get into it too, that skateboard didn't look like it was correct time either. I'm not gonna point that out. I'm gonna let it be bygones be bygones. That board shape didn't make sense for that time period. Who chose that board shape? You know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm saying, but I'm saying that was a fishtail board. By that time in the 90s or what have you, early 90s, correct, Siddhuey? They would have been riding a more of a traditional popsicle stick. Now, you could also say, well, maybe that guy was older, so he still had a fishtail in the trunk of his car, not a popsicle stick, Tubi, and I'll accept that. I'll accept that as the answer. So, but Ben Affleck's the bomb, and Ben is the bomb in anything he does. Here, I'm a Ben fan, so I'm gonna stand for my boy Ben at any cost. You know, I'm wearing a freaking Moobies t-shirt right now. I'm wearing Moobies right now, so I'm gonna say I liked it.
I also agree with the fact that it's like nothing really happened. It was just basically 2 hours of we need to sign Jordan, which I think is exactly. It's like nothing happens.
Nothing happens in any movie if you want to break it down. Like, I just went and saw Barbie. Not much happened, technically speaking. Like,
I mean, look, it was fine. You know, it was fine. I think it's like a 7.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, something like that, probably. You know, but. Yeah, that's why.
Don't read the chat, bro. You're just getting distracted by chat over here, Siddhuey. That's why I don't allow Addy to read chat with talking stuff with McMasher, because it just distracts him.
Yeah, that's anyway. That's
yeah, they should have consulted. Nick D's right. They should have consulted with Jason Lee. They should have had Jason Lee in the movie. Then it would have just been like Maul, or it would have been all the Dogma people in one movie together. I agree. This is what they really should have done. Okay. Chris Tucker should have been Chris Rock, and Jason Bateman should have been Jason Lee. Then you just had the cast of Dogma could have been the cast of Air. It might have made the movie better. Welcome, Scrambles, to the chat.
Yeah,
all right.
I
was just about to say he pulled a Fats right there. That's great.
Pulled the Fats move. Yeah.
All right. Also, I'm going to say this right now. There's 4 of you guys. There's 4 of the people in the chat. I only see 2 likes on the episode. How are there 4 of you in the chat, but only 2 likes on the episode? You feel me, Siddhuey? So less chit chat, more pressing the like button. You feel me, Siddhuey? Let's move on here. Crazy. Just crazy.
Crazy stuff.
Jason Lee should have been Jordan. Nick D's right. Jason Lee should have been Jordan. I'm with Nick D. That was some typecasting right there. All right, here we go. Siddhuey's next hot subject. And it's not about Christopher Nolan's new movie. We'll just scroll down a little bit here.
Yeah, I'll make this quick about this one. This is about the Northwestern. So if you have been following this,
what's Northwestern? Fill me in. I'm super stupid.
Let me back up. Northwestern is a school based in Illinois, I believe it is.
Oh, Illinois.
It's one of the better schools in the country, and it's like the best journalism school in the country.
Interesting.
So a lot of the people that you see working on ESPN and stuff like that, or a lot of the sports broadcasters who are pretty good, they all go to like Northwestern. So Northwestern has a real history of journalism and all of that, but it's also a Division I school. They play in the Big Ten Conference, same place where fat as Ohio State Buckeyes play. They are in that conference. Now, they are, in football terms, compared to if Ohio State is like the king, right? Northwestern is like, dust off of a servant's sandals. Okay? They are nothing.
I don't know if I like that saying, but we'll move on. Continue on. Siddhuey always hits it with a controversial statement, so that one.
It's a biblical reference.
You already have Dubai coming after us for that episode, like 4 episodes back, where you attacked poor Dubai. Move on. Continue.
It's nothing compared to that. But anyway, their football program has grown in recent years. They went from being, completely a team that you'd run over to now a team that, yeah, you run over, but you have to look down before you run over them at least. You know what I mean? So it's just they've grown a little bit. Now, what's happened is their football program has had a couple players come out about the hazing. There's been the hazing at Northwestern has really crossed the line. Really, hazing generally almost always does cross the line. And it has involved sexual misconduct with some of the players. It's involved, racism. It's involved all of the things that you normally associate with hazing gone wrong, right? And the reason I brought this story up was not to totally damper the mood of the show, but to make a few quick points about the importance of this story and why I personally why I wanted to talk about it.
Can I say one thing? Hazing Gone Wrong sounds like an infomercial, like Girls Gone Wild, and it would be like this, like really bad, like video footage of hazing gone wrong. You know what I mean? Like when you said it, like my mind went to like an infomercial, Girls Gone Wild kind of vibe. That would be a funny like little skit meme. You know what I mean? Like an SNL hazing gone wrong. Racism. Whatever. Well, I'm saying it would be a skit. It wouldn't be a real video. If it was a real video, it would be all bad. Hazing Bill's character, I would know. Fratty would know. Fratty would know.
Yeah. But the thing about this stuff is, one, the reason I bring it up is like, there's a great amount of peer pressure for people to fit into groups. Just in general, that's just like anything, but especially in groups that involve football and the kind of masculinity that surrounds that sport, and the idea of trying to fit into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and so a lot of the times you're going to be silent about certain things, and people who do speak up in this sometimes are made fun of and things like that about these players. And I want to mention that this is like, it takes a lot of strength for a man to come out and speak to their abuse that they have received from other men in this way. So one, I just want to give a real credit to the victims of this case and for bringing this up, actually doing it. And I hope because this is happening, this isn't just happening in Northwestern, this happens at schools all across the country, that I hope that others maybe who are feeling the same things come out. So that's just one, I think it's an important thing socially.
Okay.
Well, the other thing that I wanted to bring talk about this is the reason this story has even made national news is because the local journalists in Northwestern, the student journalists and people, and even some of the local people who just cover that school, they covered this story so well and brought all of this to light from that. And the reason that's important is as news networks locally all across the country are closing down due to budget cuts, as reporters and journalists are losing their job constantly, as big corporations start to buy these newspapers, right? Like Bezos owns the Washington Post, for example, right? I don't know if people know that or not. As these big corporations buy the news and therefore start to use these newspapers as their own propaganda networks, right? The value of unbiased journalism is at an absolute high, like a maximum. We need that as a society to know what the truth is, just to discern things, right? And local journalism is so important because it not only covers stories like these, but just all types of things that people need to stay informed as a populace so we're not just fucking blinded by whatever the government or things are telling us, and that we can make independent decisions that can keep this as a democracy. This is a very like I'm standing on my soapbox speech right here, but like that we can maintain as a democracy because we need real journalists providing us impartial, real journalism, like what the actual news is. This story is a triumph of journalism. It really is. It's students who come together.
You got to tell me what the story is, bro. You're losing me right now. Tell me what. Wheel everyone back in and break us off on what the story is, and then give the journalist his credit his flowers, as they would say, at the end of it. Because I don't know what you're talking about yet.
So the football team would put hazing, put some extreme hazing towards the players as a means of acceptance.
Let's not say extreme. That sounds. Let's call it crazy.
Crazy, sure.
It's X Games right now, bro. We don't need to add extreme in. It's X Games.
An example of restraining a person and performing sexual acts on said person.
Ew.
Okay, that's what we're talking about here when we talk about this type of thing. You know, and this is particularly problematic in a couple. Obviously, it's problematic in that, right? But when the players would complain to the coaches, the coaches covered up this hazing.
Okay.
And they actually blamed a lot of the players who would complain about it, saying, "You're being weak. You're not whatever. Shut up. Go fucking go play."
All right.
So there was this silence there. One of the scariest things for a kid is when you're off somewhere into school that you can't even trust the people who are like there to protect you. Right? And there was no protection for a lot of these players. They're being abused constantly while they were at school, right? By the teams and all of that, by the players and everything like that. And they had no coaches they could go to. In fact, there's some reports the coaches were actually trying to get this hazing thing and keep pushing it as well. There's actually
tradition.
They were almost behind it a little bit, huh?
Tradition.
Yeah, pushing this as a means to create a team dynamic. So they actually wanted the abuse because they felt it would bring the team closer together, have a really close group. Right?
And it was sexual.
A lot of it was sexual.
That's creepy.
You know, that's what people do. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. But you go ahead.
Yeah, it was sexual in nature. You know what I mean? And
team sports.
The other thing that is particularly problematic about this is a lot of the victims in this case were black players, and some people of color, but mostly just black players. I think there's a couple of Asian kids, but they're black players mostly. Northwestern is a traditionally white school. The players on that team, unlike Ohio State, which pretty much recruits anyone, so they have a lot of black players and they're good. And look, let's be really honest. If you want your team to be good, you're going to need a lot of black players because otherwise you're just limiting yourself to one race. And that also says, to that same point, if you're only recruiting black players in college, you will not be a fully great team either. There's also good white guys that are out there too. But they have pretty much an all-white program. So that program, as it's changing now, the racial dynamics have been changing as they've had more success. What that also meant was you had a lot of white players subjugating these black players. And some of the things that were said verbally, at least that have been alleged, racial in tone. You have almost this racial component as well being added to it. I went a lot longer on the story than I really wanted to. I just want to talk about the fact that, look, it's this terrible hazing going on, and this isn't the first.
So they were tying. Let me get to the deets here. We don't got to go full deets, but they were tying up players and doing. And then the other players were performing sexual acts to him, the player?
Yeah, and what I mean by sexual acts do not mean like they pulled out their dick and started raping them. They would be like they pulled stuff out to like play with them. You know what I mean? Like to play with their ass or something. You know what I mean? Like toys.
Yeah,
things
yeah. I got you. So they were using objects. Yeah, you could just leave it at objects. Okay.
Yeah, like objects. So, in any case, it's just a very tragic story. You might have remembered years and years ago the Penn State scandal, which involved obviously rape, full-on rape of children, and
Sandusky.
And the silence around that. And once again, you have the silence again around this program, and the silence around that. I think. Yeah, so anyway, it's just a terrible thing. I just wanted to bring it up because it is a massive story that's kind of going on, but people just kind of gloss over these things sometimes. I think that is kind of important. Anyway, that's my sad story of the day. That's Siddhuey being a nerd and bringing up something that no one probably ever wants to talk about. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to mention. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
I
sad
mean,
one.
it's a sad one. It seems to be it happens a lot there in that professional sports industry, especially with college ball or what have you. Um, super creepy, nonetheless. Super creepy, nonetheless. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, before we get into our final story that you have, let's talk about
We
something.
have two stories.
Yeah. But let's talk about something a little bit more upbeat. Let's talk about a real sport. Former professional scooter rider. That's right, everybody. Former professional. This just goes out to Addy. Former professional scooter rider and now pro BMXer. That's right, everybody. Ryan Williams, the G of all G's, wins Mega Park with an incredible run, which I'm playing right now. An incredible run. 720 flips the first one, little backflip, fronty scooter flip, and then a rodeo, frontside rodeo right there at the last quarter, and just stoked. Super big shout out to Ryan. I mean, X Games is going. There's a bunch of crazy stuff going. It's streaming on YouTube. It's streaming on Twitch. But I want to give a special shout out to Ryan. He lost his buddy, committed suicide a few months ago, and he's definitely using that energy to. And he gave a shout out at the end to his buddy Luke, who was another scooter rider, actually. Ryan's the man. So wanted to play this clip real quick, just to give Ryan his props, and just dominated, man. And he beat real quick. I know Austin doesn't watch the show, but I'm going to talk a little shit. He beat freaking Morgan Wade. Addy, if you're watching, I hope you're seeing this. This is Morgan Wade's run. Morgan Wade's at Triple OG, been around since we were kids, Texas native. And Ryan Williams just dominated him, in my opinion. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Morgan Wade. He's an older cat. He's got to be a little bit older than us. And riding a ramp like this, Siddhuey, I don't know if you realized, Mega Ramp didn't exist when we were kids. And this is Mega Park now. They've gone from Mega Ramp to straight up like Jason Ellis is back. Shout out to Jason Ellis. He's back to doing the commentating. So is Tony. And everyone's favorites to do. Who is it? Who's back, baby? First year. Soundmaster Kayla is back. This is the first year.
Wow.
They got all three of the old OGs, triple OGs are back to doing the hosting. But dude, it used to be a 2-hit situation. You would hit the first gap right here, and then you'd hit the mega quarter. Now they've added another ramp and another quarter. So you're doing 4 hits, and you're judged on all 4. So I mean, the bar has risen in extreme sports. The skate contest was crazy too. This is actually in the backyard of Elliot Sloan's house. That's his personal ramp, which is also just insane to think people have this in their backyard. But it also shows that, and earlier in the show, Siddhuey was talking about crazy money situations with soccer players. Extreme sports is at such a low point that X Games, ESPN, can't make this ramp themselves. They have to host it at somebody else's actual house. So the comparison here from soccer players making $1.5 billion and X Games hosting the contest at Elliot Sloan's backyard, not a good sign for us over here at Hella Grip, but just an interesting kind of, I wanted to point that out too, because it's just crazy to think, this used to be, they used to rent out basketball stadiums and have this contest at basketball stadiums, and now it's in someone's backyard, and that's just wild to think about. But insane, man. The contest is going. It's going right now, if I'm not mistaken. They're skating or BMXing right now as we speak. The contest is still going. Check out. I mean, dude, the park they have in Ventura right now. This is Siddhuey's favorite pro skater, the Olympic gold medalist, right here. I know Siddhuey's a huge fan, and he's good. That back tail was insane. Now, I actually streamed a little bit of this yesterday on the Hella Grip Twitch. But yeah, I mean, dude, this year that crazy like C curve they have, it's just insane. They have lockers and stuff. They try to theme it, which is interesting. But I also think waste of money. We don't need to spend the money here on theming. Let's just
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good, dude. You
Yeah.
just hate on him because he's Japanese, but he's great.
No,
dude.
I do not, dude. Don't. Here's my favorite dude, and this is who I would want to win.
He's the best right
Skater
now.
of the year, my friend. Ashad Ward.
Him.
Ashad Ward. He's the best for when it comes. Here's my thing, Siddhu. I judge you by your skate part. And your boy put on a full face mask and did a trick down Hollywood. Cool, bro. Like with a Louis Vuitton mask. It's like fitting in. Get out of here. Ashad, man, just ripping it. Shout out to Ashad. Always shout out to Ashad. But I think they're actually doing a half pipe contest, and Tony will be announcing this, which is crazy.
Nigel.
I mean, look at the comments here. There's one comment. It's just poor X Games. Poor X Games.
Comments, I like Jared's comments. Ryan sounds like a sellout. Should have rode a scooter in the BMX comp.
First off,
I agree.
You can't do that, number one. But I do agree with you. For a longer conversation that, now this is a sports show, I do agree with Jerry. I think that Ryan does us a little bit of a disservice because, like me and Addy have said many a times, it makes it seem like scootering is a stepping stone to professional BMX. And that does kind of do us a disservice. He does hold the flag for scootering, and he mentions it quite often. And when you're in our shoes and you're the little brother of the other two major extreme sports, obviously being skateboarding and BMX, you kind of take what you can get right now still. So just having any type of representation is good for us as a whole. But at the same time, I do agree with you on the argument that he has to hop on a BMX bike. But that's the thing is, like, there's no money right now in extreme sports. If you want to make any cash, he has to do this. Or else he would have to go get a real job. That's just straight up the truth. Like, if he wasn't BMXing, he wouldn't be able to afford the house in Australia and things of that nature. So he, unfortunately has to do BMX to make that money. The sponsors just aren't there right now. You look back a few years ago. I'll say this too, man. The one thing I'm excited about, just click on this real quick. It's not chock full of freaking motocross and car racing. There's a couple motocross events, but years prior, we were chock full of rally car and this, that, the other. And I think that kind of diluted the X Games with all these moto sports. And they're kind of starting to bring it back. I mean, there's still motocross, but they're starting to bring it back. And I will point this out too. A crazy event is the Dave Mira BMX Park Best Trick. Shout out to Dave Mira, rest in peace. Just interesting. It is the weekend. We won't bring this back up again. I'm not gonna on a weekly basis talk about extreme sports because this is the Siddhuey review, not the Tubi review.
Good interlude. We should have one every week.
No, there won't be because there's only.
Yeah, we should.
Siddhu, there isn't anything to talk about.
Let's do this. Every week, we're going to have 1 minute on this Japanese skater.
No, we're definitely not doing that.
Every week, 1 minute on Japanese skater.
All right, moving back into the Siddhuey Reviewy. Well, let me read some of these comments.
Moto X best whip. That's the one where they fly off those dirt ramps, right?
So they do they turn the bike. I mean, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's insane. Yeah. I just don't. I think motocross altogether, it topped out once Pastrana did the double backflip. Yeah.
Pastrana really ended it.
And then now it's like they just, I don't know. It like the ceiling has been burst and there's not much else to do in my opinion. But I also don't ride a motorcycle or motobike or dirt bike, whatever it's called. So I don't know. There's not much to be said about it. Can't wait for. All right, Siddhu, hit us with this baseball.
The last couple of stories I think should be pretty quick. Baseball. So the biggest news is a trade deadline's coming up. the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, I guess, whatever the fuck they're called. Their best player and the game's best player, Shohei Ohtani, they could trade Shohei Ohtani before the trade deadline. The reason for that is it is now almost a certainty that Shohei Ohtani will leave in the summer and probably go to the Dodgers, actually, given what I'm reading.
Wow.
So the way the reports are, so I'll get to his free agency in just a second, but the point that to start with is he's leaving the Angels in the summer. As we discussed with Kylian Mbappe, you want to get value for the guy before he leaves for free. So there's a school of thought that Anaheim, I'm going to keep calling him Anaheim, fuck it, I don't care. Anaheim may trade him before the deadline to try to get some assets back, knowing that he's going to leave. Now, I don't think that's going to happen because your fan base would hate you forever if you traded away basically the most exciting player to come to baseball in like 20 years. So it's like I don't think they're going to do that, but it's a possibility. And that leads us to, and you just kind of touched on to the Dodgers, his free agency. So teams that could trade for him would be the teams that could also re-sign him in the summer. The Dodgers, almost not unsurprisingly, did not really get involved in free agency last winter. So like when Aaron Judge was a free agent, they really didn't get involved in that because they were saving their money for Shohei Ohtani. So the Dodgers have basically been waiting for this for a couple of years now. They've been prepping for this. The Dodgers, and they want him. The Dodgers, according to people who know a lot more about baseball than I do, they're the best run organization in the league. They have a great GM who gets a lot of good young talent coming to the farm system, and they also do really well in free agency by bringing in really talented players. So the Dodgers are uniquely positioned to go get this guy, right? And also, if you're Shohei Ohtani, you're pretty much living around the same area. Like, not far. Not you're going to be traveling a little bit to get to Dodger Stadium. But you're in a big market, truly. Now you're playing for the team in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You get to raise your profile, more money, endorsements, all of that. And if you want to win a World Series, which he says, of course, he wants to do, the Dodgers are the best place. The Dodgers are consistently contending. They already have a lot of other good players, so not everything's going to be on you, right? It's like they have Mookie Betts, they have Freddie Freeman, they have Will Davis.
Freddie Freeman. These names are classic.
Will Smith, is the guy's name.
Will Smith? There's a Will Smith?
Yeah, he's their catcher.
Wow.
Will Smith for the Dodgers, he's their catcher, and he's one of the best catchers in baseball. He's really good. Him, JT Realmuto, I believe is the guy's name. I think and then there's this guy for the Orioles. I'm totally blanking on his name right now, who's their catcher. He's really good too. But in any case, the Dodgers have a really good team, and Shohei Ohtani could easily make that switch. Now the Yankees are also interested in him, but the Yankees, I don't know if they can convince him to go there, given just they're a good team, but they're not a great team. The Yankees, you know what I mean? So it's like, why would he want to go to that?
It smells in New York.
It smells, and it's
no one likes New York, Jer.
I would say this. There's something that Bats and I used to talk about. I don't know if Bats has changed his opinion on this, but Bats and I used to mention this was back when Carmelo Anthony played for the Knicks. Mm-hmm. We're always like, man, New York, like aside from him playing for the Lakers, because Bats and I are obviously very partial to that. Aside from that, playing at Madison Square Garden and playing for the Knicks would be probably the second coolest thing you could have in the NBA. Remember this? This 2010. We're talking me and Fat. So this is well before a lot of this thing changes. We're like, that would be a dope ass place to play is New York and playing in Madison Square Garden. So I think you underestimate the value of being in the Big Apple and
No, I was just joking. I love the Yankees. I mean, I go A's Yankees. I know I'm hated for this. But my grandpa's from New York.
I appreciate the Yankees for their classic nature, but I just wish they would stop doing that shaving bullshit because it's just kind of weird.
I like it.
Have
I like it. I like it, dude. I respect it.
You and I couldn't play for them
That's
as we
fine.
Are currently.
That's fine.
We'd have to change.
I would shave my face to play for the New York Yankees. Hands down. If they said, you got to shave your face tubes if you want to be catcher on the Yankees, I'd be playing catcher too. I'd go, yeah, I'm shaving my face. I'll be catcher for the Yankees. Those pinstripe, we talked about uniforms earlier. the best uniforms in baseball, right? Best uniforms in baseball. A's number 1 because of the hat.
Yeah.
Yankees number 2. Yankees number 2. And then I might go. I don't know. After that, I don't know.
I mean, it's tough. Like, the Yankees, the pinstripe is just so classic and iconic, right? It's like, how do you rate? Are the Dodgers colors iconic enough to say that they're
Dodgers
high up
might
on
be
the
in the top
ranking?
10 for sure, if not top 5.
The Red Sox, yeah, the Dodgers
Nah.
I think are up there. Like,
The
I
Sox
think
teams,
honestly,
the Sox teams, both of them,
I like the White
stupid.
Sox.
I don't like the name. I don't like any of it, Stu. Sorry to my boy Georgie. I know he's a huge Sox fan, but yeah, no, I'm not into it.
To me, one of the classic baseball jerseys is the Cardinals.
That's a good
Cardinals are a very classic,
Yeah,
very
that's a good one. Yeah.
quintessential baseball jersey that I think I quite like. I'm also a big fan of the Pirates because not because I like the Pirates or like a jersey, but because they're quintessential baseball to me. Like when I think of that jersey and that logo, I'm like, oh, that's like that's baseball. I don't know about the Braves necessarily. It's Blue Jays is hella baseball to me.
Blue Jays.
I know the Red Sox. BK will probably be upset if I don't mention the Red Sox, but fuck them.
BK's a Giants fan. He's come on.
Fucking stupid. Those ones. I also low key. I like the Minnesota Twins. I feel like it's a super baseball ass team as the Twins. I feel like their little pinstripe thing they got going on is super baseball-y.
Yeah, we need to do the tier list. We talked about it. We got to do it.
We got a tier list of the uniforms. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani is most likely going to end up in LA playing for the Dodgers. That's the word on the street. That's what the betting market is basically saying is he'll end up there. So look out at so a lot of people thought that happened in December, right? When they usually free agents kind of choose teams. It may happen within a week. So keep your eyes peeled, I guess, for that news if Shohei Ohtani moves.
All right, well, let me read a couple of comments real here because Addy had a good one. Angels should move the team to Vegas. They blew it with Trout. They blew it with Ohtani. He also thinks that if they change it, they change the halo above the A to a UFO, and they call it the Space Angels.
Also, speaking of that halo, that throwback Angels uniform is way cooler than like their current one because of that big ass halo. If you remember on the A. Yeah. Now, I think you'll remember that from like not Major League. The Rookie, the one where the fucking kid's the pitcher. I think they
Angels in the outfield, bro. Was that what you're thinking of?
Thinking of Angels in the outfield, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also the movie with the Rookie replaced the Cubs. I think he's a pitcher, and like the coach marries his mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I follow.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Fats made a great point though. A's are the only team and I'm just asking more of a question. They're the only team that has green.
Yeah, we're the only team because I don't count the Marlins as green. That's teal.
Mm-hmm.
The Mariners have a teal, right? But they're not green. We are green. Like you know what I mean? Like there's no other team that has green. So.
Oh, Fats also says Space Angels in the outfield was filmed at Oakland Coliseum. I mean, dude, so was Moneyball. A lot of things have gone down. Oakland Coliseum.
I also agree. Nick saying this is the Rookie is the name of the movie. Basically a prequel to RoboCop. That's great. But Fats says A's are unique as only green. Dodgers blue is classic, and Yankees navy blue is ugly. Sorry, tubes. I agree with the Yankees navy blue, but the Yankees pinstripe is hard.
The pinstripe is money. The pinstripe is money. The gray outfit's money too. Derek Jeter, number 2, greatest baseball player of all time. Derek Jeter, greatest baseball player of all time. Number 2. He played as number 2. And to answer Nick D's question, I'd be 22. I'd play for the New York Yankees. I'd be number 22. I'd be a catcher, and I'd shave my face. And I'd put the black stuff underneath my eyes because I always thought that was cool too.
Oh, wait, hold on. You would be what number again?
22. That's 2B. Second letter in the alphabet is B.
I don't know if you can even wear that. Oh, you can. It is eligible. Damn it. I thought I was retired.
I'd be 22. Now, I'd rather play for the Oakland Athletics as long as they're staying in Oakland, but that doesn't seem to be happening, so I'm playing for the Yankees. This is the hypothetical. I'm shaving the beard.
What you say? Shortstop, you said?
No, catcher. I don't want to have to move too much.
The catcher is actually more brutal to play than shortstop because
that's fine. I'm just saying I don't have to run around.
See, my dream, if I ever could play, well, it's not a dream, it's a fantasy because I never played baseball, and I'd want to be a pitcher because pitchers are always the most glory. You could actually fucking be on the mound and throw the winning pitch and shit.
No, too much stress, dude. Too much stress. You'd be so stressed out as a pitcher, dude. You'd be so stressed out as a pitcher.
But imagine if I was a pitcher with a fucking like 100+ mile/hour fastball.
Sure.
Bro, that's the coolest thing in the sport. If you throw 100+ miles, imagine I can throw 110.
Yeah, we could go to the county fair. You break all the bottles. You break all the bottles at the county fair and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Being the pitcher, bro, that's like, there's a reason why there are more baseball sports movies than other sports movies. I'm gonna tell you why. I mean, this is
the greatest sport.
This is a Siddhuey fucking thing. A lot of times, like the story of finding the diamond in the kind of baseball player and polishing him into a superstar, that only really happens in baseball. Like, you know who the best basketball players are by the time they even fucking reach college. Fuck even the NBA, you already know by the time they reach college, right? The best football players, you know who they are by the time they reach the NFL. Like, everyone knows who the top draft picks are. Now, there are some guys who come from like the later rounds who end up being good, but all the quarterback top round picks. You know what I mean? Like top picks and shit. So in baseball, the guy that you found in the cornfield in fucking Iowa, right, that you turned into like the top pitcher in baseball, like that's a very romantic story that actually happens. So that's why you see more baseball movies and shit. It's more romantic. You know what I mean? And we all know The Sandlot obviously is like the greatest, sports movie ever. But like
it's also because like the like it's easy to build up like a moment, bases loaded, it's on you. You got to hit it, or you got to strike it out.
I would think basketball would be easier than that.
They score every 2 seconds in basketball. Every 2 seconds they're scoring. It's all it is is scoring. All it is scoring. All it is scoring. No way, dude.
In the chat, tell me if you could be a baseball player, what position would you be? Everyone's going to choose starting pitcher.
No way. I already said I'm playing as the freaking catcher.
I didn't ask you.
I don't care what the chat says. Addy's talking about how the Yankees should have to move to Reno. Who cares what the chat says?
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
He called it Space Angels. What clearly a better name would have been called Mothership. That's a way better name. The Las Vegas Mothership? That's a way better name.
Shohei Ohtani playing Vegas, pitching and fucking hitting.
For Mothership.
For the Mothership.
Yes.
But, I mean, look, my dream would be the A's being a super rich-ass team that was still based in Oakland with good ownership, and I'd fucking want to play for them.
Yeah, we already established this. Stomper is the best freaking mascot in all of baseball.
Best mascot for sure.
Dave England's live on the X Games right now, Addy. Damn, we're missing hella cool shit. Huh?
Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up with our last story really quick.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We have 2 other stories, but man, Dave England. Shout out to Dave England. Mothership is already taken. Mothership's not taken by any baseball teams. Come on now, bro. We got 2 other stories. We got your
shortstop for sure. Definitely not catcher. Fats is smart ass Fats again, right? He said, Sandlot obviously greatest sports movie. Or a pitcher or shortstop for sure. Definitely not catcher. See?
That's fine. You guys are just wusses. I'm gonna be a badass catcher. All right. Who's the most iconic Giants player?
He watched the Sandlot.
All right. After Barry Bonds, what's the next Giants player you think of?
Next Giants player?
Yeah. We live in the Bay Area. Oh, my God. You would say that. You're a DL Giants fan, bro. Obviously.
What do you say?
The catcher dude that I can't. No, catcher dude that just retired.
Buster Posey, you can't even name. The guy that you can't even name is Buster Posey.
I couldn't name it. Right when I said it, and then I couldn't remember what it was. I was trying to think of it because he had an Ike. I'm pretty sure he had an Ike sandwich. Fats. What were the guys who had Ike sandwiches? And also, I just realized Ike's has done us dirty. They've never given us a sandwich. All right, well, let's just get to this Rocky story. Let's get to the Rocky story. Willie Mays, cuz.
So the Rocky story, I was trying to bring up something funny at the end of the show. So as you guys all know, because you guys go to baseball games, if you go to a baseball game, they have this thing called game notes. And the game notes basically are like, hey, this guy hits it hit 334 against right-handers, whatever it might be. Or this guy has been on a hit streak the last 10 games. Like there's notes about the game. Well, apparently this scoreboard operator had something they wanted to get off their chest and decided to take the game notes and move them in a different direction, shall we say. So here's what they said. I'll read it out to you for those that cannot see it on the screen.
That's crazy.
Using a stethoscope to listen to the heart, cardiologists can detect narrow valves, valve leakage, and or abnormal rhythm. Don't bother asking him to check your heart, though, Becky. That crushed Titanic has more life inside of it than a collapsed troll cave you call a chest cavity.
I don't know why he had to throw out the poor crushed Titanic sub, man. That was kind of effed up.
That man was going through it. I don't know why you needed to tell us all of this information.
Well, Becky crushed his heart, obviously. She must have cheated on him with a doctor.
It's so...
Now, Addie's got a great question for you, Siddhuey. Was this Becky with the good hair?
Good one, Addie. Good one. And yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's the answer to that one. Yes, it is. It's Becky with the good hair.
Becky with the good hair.
So yeah, anyway, this man clearly was going through it. It's a tough breakup. Breakups are hard. But you don't need to mention it on game notes of the Colorado Rockies.
I think you do. I think it makes the game a lot more interesting. If me and Fats were at the A's game and something like that popped up, that would have made my day. That would have been the best.
It made my day seeing it there, but I'm just like, my goodness, dude. Let it go. Rebecca has found someone else.
Yeah.
Okay? Rebecca is found someone else. Just get over it. I think you have a video too to end our shit, which is funny.
I saw this. It made me think of Siddhuey. Yeah. I sent it to him.
Alfred, shut the fuck up! Let's go! Fucking Christ, I've been sitting here for 9 innings with you. They're the best team in the National League. Oh, they lose one fucking game.
They've lost 5 out of last 6. They're falling apart. The Braves never lose.
Shut the fuck up, Fred! Shut the fuck up! Let's go!
Now, the best part of this clip is homie in the back here is wearing a Pikachu t-shirt. That and homie taking off when homie takes off the glasses so he could yell some more. Bro, I'd love to see what led into this whole situation. Like, what was the lead up to this happening? It'd be great to know. I'd really...
What's amazing about this is that the guy who is doing most of the yelling, the smaller guy, right? I was pretty much on his side the whole time until the fat guy spoke. And then I was like, oh, they've lost 5 or 6 in a row? That is kind of concerning. That is kind of concerning. This guy has a reason to be concerned. I kind of switched to
I've been sitting here for 9 innings with you. Anyway. They're the best team in the National League. Oh, they lose one fucking game.
They've lost 5 out of last 6. They're falling apart. The Braves never lose.
I mean, that clip is money, dude. That clip was money. I was gonna put this in the feed for over the show clip of the week, and then I was like, nah, like this needs to be on the Siddhuey Reviewy. This is too funny, it's too good, and I was hoping you had some baseball stuff so that we could end it with this or something, and we did, so that it worked out perfectly. But man, the Pikachu shirt's really what got me because he's like going off, and he's got a Pikachu shirt, you know. Just such a good man, hilarious. All right, well, I think that's a wrap. We've seen and discussed it all. We did have a lot of NBA stuff we didn't get to, so next week we'll definitely do some NBA, and then maybe next week we'll do the jerseys tier list for the MLB, and that will be our MLB coverage.
Yeah.
I know Siddhuey wants to get off so he can watch Messi kick around the ball a little bit, and I want to go watch the polar opposite. A bunch of professionals that make no money at all ride 4-wheeled objects. So
when's Moto X? The fucking thing that I
How
was talking
dare
about.
you, bro? Shut up, Siddhuey. When's
Who
Moto
is it?
X?
Oh,
Get the
I know
hell out
you
of
don't
here.
like it, but
I'm not even gonna,
when is
I'm not
it,
gonna
dude?
tell you. I don't want Moto X to get ratings. Get out of here. I think
Well,
Moto.
why?
I don't know. Here, I'll look it up real quick. Give me a second.
Come on, bro. I mean, I want to watch Moto X. I don't want to watch whatever it is that you want to watch. Yeah, the
No,
Steph
I'm
Curry
gonna.
documentary.
What? Outrageous, bro. Outrageous, dude. I don't want to watch what you're watching. I want to watch Moto X. Get out of here. What time? Let's see. Moto X, you fool. You know, I have to say that their website is just pure junk, man.
That's just, yeah, that's ridiculous. Come on, X Games, get your shit together.
All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. All right.
Messi has scored.
So right now, okay, Moto X starts at 7:45 for best trick. Tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Tomorrow we got women's skateboard street in the morning. You know, that should be interesting. There's that young girl. That young girl from Brazil is just phenomenal. Hopefully she wins. And then they end the night. I don't know why motocross gets the last thing. They end the night with best whip, which was the one that Addy was talking about, 7:30 tomorrow night. But the real thing to watch is Sunday, 2:15, the Pacifico skateboard vert best trick. That's, you know, infamously where Tony Hawk did the 900. Now, little fun fact for you guys real quick. Tony Hawk did not win that year. The 900 was done after the clock. And if you can write in the chat or on the comments, who won X Games 90, I think it was 99, or was it 2000? X Games 2000, best trick, vert best trick. So, do you know?
Bob Burnquist.
It was not. We will be back next week, and hopefully Siddhuey will know the answer. I'll be the first thing I ask him next week when we are back, and we'll look at some other stuff. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And we're only at 4 likes, everybody. I expected more likes on this episode. Come on, guys. Let's step it up here.
Is it Tony?
It was not Tony. Tony, no. All right. That was good to do. We did an hour and 11 minutes.